Well, welcome back to Project Plus. Today we're doing project management concepts, which is 33%, and we're on 1.9, given the scenario, apply effective meeting management techniques. So we're getting this right from Project Plus, the exam objectives guide. I'll link to this down below. Once again, we're on 1, project management concepts, which is 33% of the test. And we're on 1.9, which is all the way down here. So given a scenario, apply effective meeting management techniques. Let's go. So, meeting types. So there's collaborative meetings. These are where we bring team members together and we try to work collectively towards a common goal. There's open dialogue. We discuss, we brainstorm. It should be an active meeting where everyone is participating. It's usually to get all the different points of view, understanding into the meeting so that we can come out with the best thing possible. Informative meetings are different, so has a different goal. The goal of the meeting is to inform. So these are typically led by a presenter. They share updates, announcements, things like that, maybe special topics. And attendees are generally passive recipients. I mean, there might be some Q&As, but it's not collaborative. So there's a significant risk. There's less communication going on in an informative meeting. It's information. Okay, it's not communication going back and forth. It's one way. Decisive meetings. These are focused to try and come up with a decision. So what's the best course of action? There should be a clear agenda in these, and key decision makers are the ones that are present. On occasion as well, subject matter experts, but these are the decision makers. This would be strategy sessions, budget sessions, policy reviews, things like that. So let's talk a little bit about different collaborative meetings. So you have workshops where you bring a lot of people together to address a specific item or project objective. You explore ideas and try and make a decision. So oftentimes you have different players for the workshop, kind of to help it go along. There would probably be a sponsor, someone who's the person that is higher up that is leaning credit to the workshop to say, yeah, this is something we want to do. There's a facilitator who should be fairly neutral that just guides the discussion. There's an agenda, and it should be in the appropriate facilities. We often try to not have it too close to, if it's a multi-team group, too close to any of those teams so that everyone feels they're on neutral territory. And it should be well equipped. Focus groups involve very interactive discussion among subject matter experts. This could be proposing change to something or something new, and these are the people that know the most about things that are similar. Once again, a trained facilitator often would run a focus group. Joint application development. This is often referred to as JAD, if I remember right, and joint application review sessions. So I don't know if they have JARs. I've seen JAD. So they're collaborative workshops that involve clients or end users, and that are working to design and develop an application. It's often a series of meetings, and you're gathering information at the same time as working on it. So you're expected to get high quality data from these collaboration sessions. And then there's brainstorming. Brainstorming is a technique that's used to just try and come up with ideas. Oftentimes, well, you're not supposed to criticize. So just throw any ideas out there and try and see what sticks. You focus on quantity, not quality. You never know when something just magical will appear that maybe someone has thought before, but they thought it was silly, and realizing later that this is golden. The main thing with a brainstorming session is you've got to not allow criticism, and that's hard. Welcome unusual ideas and try and combine and improve ideas. So I want to share something that I've used with the brainstorming. There's this card deck that I really like from from the thinkshop.org, these creative thinking cards. And they have other cards too. So the logical fallacies are awesome as well. But the creative thinking cards have things that just help do idea generators. So like take 10 minutes and just spit out every idea that you can, or put 20 things on the board, and just trying to force you to do something to start to think about different items. Maybe it might say, hey, put yourself in the shoes of someone else and tell you what type of person that is. What would they want? So trying to get people to think outside of their normal thinking patterns to come up with good ideas. So I'll link to this down below. I enjoy these cards. Anything that can help make it a little more fun. And to get people to not criticize, which is very, very hard. I find myself wanting to criticize some of them. Did you really just say that? Anyway, informative. Informative meetings are designed to, once again, disseminate information, give information out, provide updates, and make sure that everyone understands what's going on and they're on the same page. So you often have presentations in this area, or a demonstration of something working, stand-ups, where it's kind of like the daily scrum. These are very brief meetings. You try and keep them as small as possible, like 15 minutes is great, where team members share what they've accomplished, what they yesterday, what they plan to do today. I do a modified version of a stand-up for some of my things, so because not always do we do them daily. So I've done weekly ones. What did you do last week? What did you learn from that? What is your plan for this week? Status meetings, so regularly scheduled meetings where the project manager and team members discuss the current status of the project and provide updates, understanding what tasks are being worked on currently, what are the next tasks to be worked on, what challenges need to be addressed. And then we move on to decisive meetings. So once again, these are the ones where we're trying to resolve critical issues, we're trying to make a decision. So refinement, it's kind of looking at the backlog and refining the prioritizing of the tasks in the project backlog, understanding the details and efforts that need to go into there and the challenges that are currently being faced. Task setting meetings. So these involve defining and assigning tasks to the team members and setting the deadlines and clarifying expectations for those team members. The project steering committee meeting. These are high-level meetings that involve senior stakeholders to help get direction and support, make sure that we're steering the ship or the whatever you're steering in the right direction, and see if any course corrections need to be done. Reviewing the progress, addressing strategic issues, and making decisions based upon things that have changed. So let's talk about having an effective meeting. So agendas should be sent out way in advance and published. So what I often do is I have a default agenda, and then if things need to be added, we can add them. But at a certain point in time, you have to add them in the meeting, not keep sending out a new agenda. With roles for an effective meeting, you have the facilitator, the person who's kind of guiding the meeting. They're supposed to help encourage participation and make sure that we're sticking to the agenda, or at least how we run our meetings. You have someone who's a scribe. Now, depending on how big you are, and you might not have a scribe, that facilitator might be having to try and take notes at the same time, which is hard sometimes for some people. Other times it might be someone who's learning how to be a project manager, taking the notes. And then, of course, there's the people attending why are we having the meeting? So it's the people who are the target audience of the meeting. So clearly defining the roles and helping people understand why they're there at a meeting is good. I know that a lot of, especially technical people, they sit through a meeting, they're like, okay, I wasn't needed at all. And we do that over and over again, and eventually they're like, do we really need to come? And sometimes maybe the project manager should say, no, you don't, but when we know you need to come, we'll ask you, but realize you then might miss something that we didn't realize you needed to be there for. So, okay, time boxing. So one of the challenges that we have with a meeting is people like to talk. And because people like to talk, sometimes they go way too long, and they don't need to. So trying to set a specific time limit for different things. And we see this in lots of meetings, trying to, you only give people certain amount of time to respond and things like that. So setting time boxes around things so that they don't take up all the time. And we can get to everything. So, and then action items. Maybe if we didn't get it done, maybe an action item is, okay, outside of this meeting, this subgroup gets together, work it out, and bring something to us next time, because we're not going to be able to make the decision here in the meeting. So put that as an action item. Or an action item could also just be, okay, well, let's follow up on this, see how much progress we make. So just make sure that the action items need to be actionable. They need to define what's going to be done. So these people are going to meet, and maybe even have discussed when they're going to meet at this time, and come back to our meeting next time with the decision on how we're going to proceed forward with whatever. So, and then meeting minutes. So I've talked a little bit about meeting minutes. This should be an official record of discussion with assigned tasks, who was there, kind of what was discussed, and they can't just be someone's notes. These need to be sent out if something's wrong, because this is just one person's notes at first. Something's wrong, it needs to be tweaked and edited and then brought forward. Usually I do this at the start of the next meeting, just approve the minutes. So is there any discussion about the minutes from last meeting? If not, I'd like to move to approve them. All in favor, and any object. And then also follow-up items, things that just need to be followed up on after the meeting to ensure that it gets done. Sometimes people forget. Having a little follow-up reminder is great. Implementing things like this will help us be more structured, which should make us be more efficient, which should lead to more productive meetings. Hopefully, that ultimately brings us to successful projects, and not just death by meetings. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this, and we'll see you in the next video. Have a good one.